Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. It's me, the Guna Tokes, and Monday, so the Premier League is pretty much over from the weekend. One game later on, Fulham Forest, find out what happens there. But I'm going to be doing a little bit of a reaction to some of the key talking points from the weekend, really. So you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, do me a favor, help me grow the channel, all that lovely stuff. And yeah, let's get into it, because I think the first place to start has got to be the title race. Because is it a three horse race now? We need to talk about Aston Villa, because they picked up another win against Manchester United. I really didn't expect United to get much out of the game, if I'm perfectly honest, especially playing away at Villa Park. It was a bit more competitive than I expected it to be, but Morgan Rogers, my days, 2 goals, quality goals. That guy is on fire at the minute, and he's really driving Villa forward. They look like a really good, solid team. So I don't know who's going to stop them, but they have a couple of tough games coming up. Their next game, they're away to Chelsea, and then after that, they're away to us. So yeah, that's who can stop them. And if we want to win this league, we got to beat Villa at home. They beat us a couple of games ago at Villa Park, and so we really need to put in a big performance and win that game. But first, they've got to get past Chelsea, and of course, City continue to win. Haaland got another brace. He's looking unstoppable at the minute. So it really is a three horse race at the moment, in it, because there's only 3 points between first and third, 1 point between City and Villa. And yeah, it looks like all 3 teams are going to be fighting for this league title for a little bit. If anything, I'd say Arsenal have maybe looked the least fluid out of the 3. Villa are playing good football. They're attacking well. They're defending well. They're a solid team. I've spoken about them before. And City look like they're getting back to be pretty solid themselves. You know, that was a bit of a stroll for them the other day, their game. And so it's tight at the top, innit? And can Villa really sustain this? I mean, I think it really comes down to how they manage their squad, you know? They don't have a massive squad, but they've got a great, first 13, 15 set of players that can come in and do a really good job. So they don't look like they're showing any signs of slowing down at the moment, unfortunately. So we're at the point where we're hoping that Chelsea can do us a favour. It's going to be a difficult game for Villa playing away at Chelsea. Hopefully Chelsea can at least get something out of the game, but Villa have been unstoppable at the moment. It's like, 10 wins in a row. They've beaten us. They've beaten United. Okay, fair enough, it's only United, but if they beat Chelsea and then they come to us in really good form and full of confidence, that's going to be a super tough game against Aston Villa. So they are definitely in the mix at the moment. I've been really impressed and surprised by how they've got to where they are this season, considering they started off not really that well, but Emery has got the team working well, and maybe it's going to be a bridge too far for them to push for the league title, all things considered, but they're giving it a good go. You get me? And City and Arsenal as well, we're a bit more used to fighting for the title, even though we haven't actually won it in a while. So it's going to be an interesting battle here on in. I think those are the 3 teams that are going to be fighting for this Premier League at the end of the day. So big games coming up. City have got City are away to Forest. City got 2 away games next. They're away to Forest and they're away to Sunderland. Do I really see City slipping up in those games? I mean, I hope so. Could be, tricky places to go away from home. So hopefully, those 2 teams can do us a favour. But we're going to have to be in control of our own destiny and beat Brighton is our next Prem game. We've obviously got the Palace game later today. But then, we got to beat Brighton and then do the job against Villa. So for my money, it's a 3 horse race at the moment. And if we want to win this title, we're going to have to put some of those horses down, starting with Villa in a couple of games' time. So maybe Chelsea can help us out before then. Come on, Chelsea. I'll be supporting you that day. And then looking at another key point, I think, from the weekend was Gyökeres getting that goal, right? And I'm hoping that can be a little bit of a lift-off for him. He hadn't scored in a while because he was out for a while injured, and you remember how well he was playing in that, was it against Burnley, the first half of that game. He looked really good, and so hopefully now he's got that goal, he can maybe relax a little bit more. I think, when strikers don't score, they're a bit on edge, and it can make them, a little bit rash in their decision making, and they're not playing with fluidity. So hopefully that can change now, because a fit and firing Gyökeres is going to be crucial, I feel, in the next part of the campaign, and hopefully he can get in amongst the goals now, maybe score a bit from open play as well. We really need to get our forwards firing, and for that to happen, we're going to have to play to his, right? Ødegaard needs to try and play to his strengths, needs to look for him more, and Gyökeres needs to try and get on the end of things, because there's been a few chances in the past couple of games where balls have been played across the box and he's just not got on the end of it. So maybe that's just a little bit of rustiness. Hopefully he can get a little bit more match fit and be ready to go and help us in the next stage of the season. So that was nice to see him getting that penalty. Good decision from Ødegaard to give it to him. So that's what I'm looking for now, for Gyökeres to get liftoff really and start putting in a few more goals and putting in some better performances and stuff like that. So that's something I hope to see. The other main thing from the weekend, that injury on Isak. Whew, as soon as it happened, it looked bad. Them ones, when the player's not actually rolling around, that's when probably something really wrong has happened there, and it turns out he's broken his leg. I'm not surprised. I mean, it was a difficult one. Mickey van der Ven, I think, makes a tackle that you see all the time, and it's just the way he caught Isak's leg, and yeah, it was like his foot was twisted the other way around if you saw some of the images of it. So I think he's going to be out for a while, and yeah, that's a big miss for Liverpool. Even though he wasn't fit and firing, he got his second goal, and it was a really crucial goal because it set them on their way to win the game, But luckily for Liverpool, they've got Ekitike, who is in good form, and so he's gonna obviously have to fill the gap really from Isak. I think he's already was like their first choice, with his form and the way he's been performing. I think he was already their first choice, but now it's his position to lose, isn't it? I said it the other day, but that injury for Isak, really unfortunate for him. Like, that was just, you hate to see it. As much as I joke about like Haaland picking up a hamstring injury or something like that, that Isak injury is not something you want to see. Hamstring injuries, that's because they haven't managed your load properly, so you can kind of find it funny as a fan. But something like that happened to Isak, those are brutal, and nobody really wants to see that. So hopefully he can get better soon. But yeah, he's going to be a bit of a miss for Liverpool. They spent a lot of money on him, and he has barely been able to play much this season. And, finally he does come on, and that's it. He'd come on. He was on the pitch for 11 minutes, comes on, gets the goal, sets Liverpool on their way, can't even celebrate. Bang, now you're out for what? A few months at least, I would reckon, with an injury like that. So, yeah, unfortunate for Isak. Another thing was, United are looking better. I think the change that Amorim has done to the system has helped, but they're still a bit naive, really, in defence and in midfield, and you can get at them. And I thought, to be honest, Bruno Fernandes was a little bit selfish staying on the pitch, because it was clear his hamstring had gone, and I don't know what he was trying to achieve by staying on the pitch, because I think they were ready to make the change, and okay, the half-time was coming, but it was still like the 41st minute, more or less, when that had happened. That's a long time to be hobbling around. And if you see the goal that United conceded, it's because Fernandes couldn't really run. He couldn't make any interceptions, and players ran off him, and boom, there you go. So for me, that was really poor management all around. Bruno Fernandes should come off straight away. It's a hamstring injury. You can't run off a hamstring injury. It's done. You gotta get off to preserve it so that it doesn't, exacerbate. So if him staying on has caused that, hamstring injury to be worse than it ordinarily would have been, it was a bit stupid for him to do that, really. And yeah, he should have come off a bit earlier. And yes, at the end of the day, Villa, get the win, 2-1. And yeah, United are going to be without Fernandes for a little bit now. So they've lost players to AFCON. They've lost Fernandes now, and they were just starting to look good. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage this period. I think it's going to be a little bit tough for them. I think we're going to see United struggle a little bit over the next few games because of the injuries and players away at AFCON. But, they're looking a bit better. I'm impressed that Amorim changed his system up a little bit, even though he'd been saying he wasn't going to do it. I mean, that's ridiculous to say you're not going to do it. Just you got to play to the strengths of your team, isn't it? And there we go. And again, Spurs. To be honest, they played all right against Liverpool, especially when they were down to 10 men. I thought they played a lot better, but you know, that's another loss for them at home. And you just don't see where the next win is coming from at home. And they're struggling this season. And it's hard to take a team that finished what was it, 17th, 16th, 17th last season, and trying to build them up. And Thomas Frank really doesn't have any experience managing bigger teams or teams that have a certain expectation on them. And, you know, for whatever reason, the Spurs fans have a big expectation on the club, but they're falling well short. And I think Spurs are going to continue to struggle for this season. They've got, you know, a couple of red cards now, so they're going to miss a couple of players. One of them is Romero, so, you know, it's peak for Spurs. They're going to struggle. Thomas Frank, I don't know whether they're, you know, what they think about Frank, really. I mean, for my money, I think it's, you know, ridiculous to talk about getting rid of him, but he's got a hard job on his hands. And long may that continue, because, you know, how I feel about Spurs. I'm an Arsenal fan, so not the biggest fan of theirs, you know. And then finally, I think Chelsea, yeah, they showed a lot of spirit and fight to come back at St. James's Park. That was a pretty good point in the end. But now, you know, I think basically they're fighting for a Champions League spot. They've got, maybe that's going to play a little bit to our advantage because they've got Villa next. So hopefully they're going to be well up for it and they can take something off Villa, because Villa, I think, are the most informed team in the league at the moment. Maybe bar Man City, but yeah, Chelsea going to have to step up, but it looks like a Champions League battle for them this season. They just you know, they don't have the experience yet within the squad to really challenge for the league title. So yeah, I think they're in kind of their natural position, really. So yeah, hey, those are my big takeaways from the weekend. The main one being, it's a three horse race, isn't it? Villa, Man City, and us, the Arsenal, fighting for this league title. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to blink first? There's a couple of games that are going to be interesting. I'm sure City will be eyeing that, you know, game we've got against Villa, because, you know, they're going to get points on somebody for sure. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to do a preview a little bit later for the Palace game, so check that out. And yeah, until then, hey, enjoy your Monday. It's the beginning of the Christmas season, so enjoy it, have fun, relax. If you're off work, lucky, I got one more day. I will talk to you later, people. Peace. Take it easy. Bye.